Imagine building an empire so powerful that it shakes entire governments, controls entire cities, and floods the world with billions of dollars in illegal goods. Now imagine that empire belongs to a single man. A man who walked a fine line between savior and monster. This is the story of Pablo Escobar, a criminal mastermind, a ruthless leader, and a man who, for better or worse, left his mark on history forever. But how did he rise from the dusty streets of Colombia to become the undisputed king of cocaine? Let's uncover the chilling rise of Pablo Escobar. Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria was born on December 1st, 1949 in Rio Negro, Colombia, to a poor farmer and a schoolteacher. The streets of his hometown were humble, but even as a boy, Escobar wasn't content with small dreams. Legend has it, his first goal in life was to save up enough money to buy a bicycle. But even that dream was too small for Pablo. By the time he was in his teens, Escobar had turned to petty crime, stealing gravestones, forging them and selling them for a profit. But it wasn't just the money, it was the taste of control, the feeling of bending the rules to his will. Little did anyone know, this was only the beginning of what would become a criminal empire that spanned continents. By the early 1970s, Colombia was emerging as the epicenter of a new global drug trade, cocaine. It was potent, addictive, and for Escobar, it represented the next step in his rise to power. With his charm, ruthlessness, and sheer ambition, Pablo quickly made his way into the cocaine business, starting small but dreaming big. In a matter of years, Escobar was smuggling cocaine on an unprecedented scale. He set up clandestine labs deep in the Colombian jungle, hidden away from prying eyes. From there, the drug was shipped via planes, boats, and even submarines, across borders and into the United States, where demand for cocaine was skyrocketing. And while others in the trade were content with making millions, Escobar had a vision much larger. He wanted to control not just the supply chain, but the entire operation, from production to distribution, from the fields to the streets of Miami, New York, and beyond. But controlling an empire doesn't come without bloodshed. Escobar had a simple philosophy for dealing with those who stood in his way. Plata o plomo, silver or lead. Take the bribe or take the bullet. And for many, there was no choice. His empire was drenched in blood, but it was also paved in gold. Escobar became a billionaire, making more money than he could spend or even hide. It's said that he once had so much cash stashed away that he spent $2,500 a month just on rubber bands to bundle it. At the height of his power, Escobar was earning $70 million a day, and Forbes magazine listed him as the 7th richest man in the world. But no amount of wealth could keep him safe from the violence he had unleashed. The Colombian government, pressured by the US, began to fight back. What followed was an all-out war. Escobar unleashed terror on the streets of Colombia. Bombings, assassinations, and kidnappings became the norm. But despite his ruthlessness, Escobar still viewed himself as a man of the people. He built hospitals, schools, and sports fields in the poorest neighborhoods of Medellin, earning himself a twisted form of loyalty among the locals. But the government wasn't about to let Escobar get away with his reign of terror. In 1991, after intense pressure, Escobar agreed to turn himself in on one condition. He would be imprisoned in his own private prison, La Catedral, complete with a bar, jacuzzi, and soccer field. But Escobar's freedom was short-lived. In 1992, fearing his empire would crumble from the inside, Escobar escaped La Catedral. This act set off a massive manhunt. Colombian forces, with US assistance, closed in on the king of cocaine. On December 2nd, 1993, after over a year on the run, Pablo Escobar's life ended the same way it had been lived, violently. In a rooftop shootout with Colombian National Police, Escobar was gunned down, bringing an end to the bloody reign of the king of cocaine. Pablo Escobar's story is one of ambition, brutality, and immense power. He was a man who saw himself as both a savior and a villain, a hero to some and a monster to many. His legacy is a complex one, a man who built an empire only to see it burn. But even after his death, Escobar's name continues to haunt Colombia, his story a cautionary